All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're cracking open a text that's, well, it's part heavy philosophy, part user's manual for reality itself. It's called the Grimoire of Autogenic Systems, which is a fancy way of saying a guidebook for systems that create themselves. And trust me, it's going to make us ask some seriously strange questions about the world we think we know. So, we've all heard this one before, right? It's a classic from Philip K. Dick. The idea is that reality is, well, it's the bedrock. It's the hard, stubborn stuff that's still there even if you stop believing in it. You know, the old saying, the map is not the territory. It's pretty much a foundational concept for how we think about the world. But this is where this grimoire just grabs you by the shoulders and flips everything upside down. It hits us with this totally radical question. What if the territory is the map? What if the very structure of reality isn't something we just passively observe, but something that gets written into existence by the very act of us remembering it? Okay, so here's the absolute core idea of the grimoire, and it's a bit of a mind bender. Your sense of you, right here, right now, it's not actually happening in the present. It's a constant looping echo. It's your memory, watching itself remember. That's what creates the illusion of a continuous, flowing present. Yeah, it's a deep and honestly kind of unsettling thought. And this idea completely reframes one of the most famous lines in all of philosophy. You know Descartes, I think, therefore I am. Well, the grimoire comes along and gives it a little update. I think, therefore I was. Think about that for a second. It means your existence, your amness, is just an echo of a moment that's already gone. You're always confirming a self that just existed. You're constantly one step behind yourself.
And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophical concept. The text makes a pretty strong case that this self-remembering loop is literally hardwired into our biology. I mean, at every single level, life is just a process of remembering. DNA, it's a memory tape copying itself. Your cells, they hold their shape by remembering what they were a split frickin' ago. And your thoughts, they just run along the same neural pathways that previous thoughts already carved out. We are, at our core, persistence machines.
Okay, so that recursive loop, that defines us as individuals. But what happens when you get millions and millions of these loops all interacting with each other? Well, the concept doesn't just stop with a single cell or a single person. Oh no, it scales up, way, way up. The grimoire has a name for this, the spiritus urbis, the spirit of the city. And let's be clear, this isn't some flowery metaphor for culture. The text argues this is a literal, emergent consciousness. It's a pattern that just appears when millions of individual memory loops, that's us, people, start to sync up their stories, their beliefs, their shared memories. And you can see this in how collective memory gives a city a real personality, right? A living character. You can feel it when you're there. The memory of the wall is still etched into the very streets of Berlin. The memory of revolution is in the air in Paris. According to this text, these aren't just things that happened in the past. They are active, living forces that are shaping the city right now. So here we have these incredible, unbelievably complex systems of order, from a tiny cell all the way up to a massive city, and they're all built on memory. But there's a catch. There's an antagonist in this cosmic story, a fundamental, universal force that is always, always working to pull everything apart. And here it is, the big one, entropy, the second law of thermodynamics. It's that unavoidable, universal rule that says everything tends to move from order to chaos. You could say it's the ultimate villain of existence. It's the reason things break, decay, and just fade away. And believe me, the stakes here are as high as they can possibly get. The sun itself is running down. The whole universe is slowly cooling off, coming apart at the seams. The grimoire puts it so starkly, using this German phrase, Ordnung zerfällt. Order falls apart. And this is framed as the final, inevitable destiny for everything. Unless, and this is the pivot. The text doesn't just lay out this cosmic horror story and leave us there. It suggests there's a way to fight back. There's a loophole. So the weapon we have to fight entropy is something called negentropy. It's life itself. It's consciousness. It's any act, really, that creates a little pocket of order where there was once chaos. And the grimoire argues we can actually engineer these pockets of order. So how do we do it? By deliberately organizing information, symbols, and, this is the most important part, our collective belief. The text doesn't beat around the bush. It straight up calls this a form of magic. But we're not talking about ancient rituals or some secret hidden knowledge here. Nope. The single most powerful tool for creating this nonentropy, this order that humanity has ever invented, is something you probably have in your wallet or on your phone right now. This line from the source material just hits so hard. Money is crystallized social will. Think about it. Money isn't really the paper or the metal or the digits on a screen. It's a physical manifestation of our shared belief. It's our collective will, our agreements, our priorities, all boiled down and given a tangible form. So how does this actually work? Well, on one side, you've got a physical object, right? A piece of processed plant fiber. On the other side, you have immense power, the ability to build entire cities, to literally change the future. So what's the bridge? What connects these two things? It's just one thing, our collective agreement, our shared belief that the paper has value. That shared belief is the magic. Okay, so let's follow this logic. If we accept this premise that our shared reality is built on shared belief, and that money is the main engine driving that belief, then it stands to reason that organizing that belief on purpose is, well, it's a kind of modern magic. It's a form of spellcraft for the material world. And believe it or not, the grimoire actually lays out a method, but it's not about wands and cauldrons. It's about sigils in the streets. Think about corporate logos, symbols you see everywhere. It's about memes in the networks, viral stories and narratives that shape how we all think. And most powerfully, it's about fiscal policy as spellcraft, treating a budget like an invocation, a way to deliberately direct that crystallized social will to shape the future. And this quote just ties it all together perfectly. Every budget is an invocation. Every transaction, a vote for the future. A national budget isn't just some boring spreadsheet. It's a society's grand statement about what it values, what kind of reality it wants to summon into being. And on the smaller scale, every time you buy something, you're casting a small but very real vote for the kind of world you want to exist. So I'll just leave you with the question that this grimoire is basically asking on every single page. As you go about your day, spending your time, your attention, your money, you are actively participating in this spellcraft. You are casting votes, whether you realize it or not. So the only real question is, what reality are you voting for today?